Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. We are student representative from Binus University Online, majoring in Information Systems, and we are also proud to represent TEF for Indonesia. Today we are going to walk you through a very fundamental and exciting topic in software engineering. The title of our presentation is Understanding Waterfall and Agile Approaches in SDLC. Over the next few minutes, we will compare these two legendary project management methodologies, the Waterfall method and Adaptive Agile method, so we can make smarter decisions on how to deliver successful software projects by understanding both. Before we dive in, let me introduce our team. My name is Helen Rafelia and my student ID is 260-220-8800.
Okay, hello. My name is Fauzia. My student ID is 260-220-8334.
Hello, my name is Karin Mahayuhana Panesti with student ID 260-221-3624. I am a final year student at Binus University majoring in Information System.
Together, we have put this analysis together to show how these theoretical frameworks apply to real campus systems. By the end of this presentation, we want to make sure you walk away with 4 key takeaways. The first one is a clear understanding of what SDLC actually is. Second one is the ability to identify and differentiate between the waterfall and agile methodologies. The third one is realistic real-life implementation examples for both methods. And finally, the knowledge to determine which methodology is the absolute best fit for your specific project. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is SDLC? SDLC stands for the Software Development Lifecycle. Think of it as a master blueprint. It is a highly structured, systematic process that development teams use to design, build, test, and maintain high-quality software, all while keeping budgets and timeline in check. As you can see in the diagram on your screen, it typically runs through 6 crucial stages. First, we start with planning to define the goals. Second, we perform analysis to gather requirements. Third is design, where we sketch the architecture. Fourth is implementation, which is the actual coding phase. Fifth, we move to testing and integration to catch any bugs. And sixth, when it's live, we enter maintenance to keep things running smoothly. Now, how we move through these 6 stages depends entirely on the methodology we choose. Let's look at our first approach. This brings us to the Waterfall method. Waterfall is the classic, traditional SDLC model. As the name suggests, it works just like a real waterfall. The water flows down and it cannot flow back up. In this model, the development process is completely linear and sequential. This means you must finish one phase 100% before you are allowed to move on to the next. We start with strict requirement analysis, cascade down to the system design, flow into implementation, move on to integration and testing, deploy the software, and finally enter maintenance. It is highly disciplined and heavily documented, but it doesn't leave much room for changes once you start moving downward. To make this concrete, let's look at a real-life example. Developing a university academic information systems. The system will handle student registration, course enrollment, class schedules, attendance, and grade submissions. If a university decides to use the waterfall method, here is how it plays out. Phase 1, requirement analysis. We spend weeks interviewing students, lecturers, and admins to define exactly what they need. We write it all down in a massive log document. Phase 2, system design. Designers create the database structures, user interfaces, and dashboard layouts based on those fixed requirements. Phase 3, development. The programming team writes the code for the registration forms, attendance features, and grades manager. Phase 4 is testing. We test everything to make sure the login works, grades calculate correctly, and database performance is stable. Phase 5 is deployment. We launch the system and it's ready for the campus to use. Phase 6 is maintenance. The IT team monitors the system, fixes bugs, and performs necessary updates. The 6 phases works beautifully because the requirements for a university grading and enrollment system are highly stable and predictable. I will hand over the presentation for Zia for Agile methods.
Okay, thank you, Helen. Let's move on to Agile. Unlike the waterfall model, which follow a linear process, Agile is more flexible and collaborative. Instead of developing the entire software in one go, Agile breaks the project into smaller parts called sprints. And each sprint usually focuses on specific features or function. And during a sprint, the team goes through several activities such as planning, designing, developing, testing, deploying, and reviewing the features. As you can see in the diagram, at the end of every sprint, the team delivers a working version of the software to users and then collect the feedbacks. This feedback becomes an important guide for improving the product and planning for the next sprints. Because Agile works in continuous cycles, teams can quickly adapt to improve the system step by step and keep users involved during the entire development process. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Let's apply Agile to the same project, for example, developing a university academic information system. Unlike Waterfall, Agile develops and releases the system gradually through short cycle, which usually lasts around 2 or 4 weeks. In Sprint 1, the team focus only the student registration and login features. During this sprint, the team will repeat the cycle from plans, design, develop, and test the features before showing it to a real user for a feedback. For example, a student might suggest adding a forgot password option or simplifying the layout to make it more user-friendly. And then in Sprint 2, the teams improve the login features based on that feedback, while also starting development of the course enrollment features. This cycle continues from Sprint 1 to the next, allowing the system to grow and improve continuously through regular feedback from users. Okay, to help us compare these two approaches side by side, I will hand it over to Karin.
Thank you, Bosia. Now that we understand both methodologies, let's put them side by side to see how they truly compare. Let's look at the key aspect. Waterfall model. Waterfall model is a linear and sequential approach, which is each phase must be completed before moving to the next phase. And then the agile methodology is iterative and incremental approach. It's meaning that projects are broken into smaller sprints like 2 or 4 weeks, where each sprint results in a deliverable that can be reviewed and adjusted. And then the second aspect is flexibility. Waterfall methodologies have a limited flexibility. Changes in requirement can cause significant delay and rework, often costly to implement. Meanwhile, agile methodology have a highly adaptable to changes. Requirement can evolve throughout the project, allowing for continuous feedback and refinement. And the third aspect is customer involvement. Waterfall has limited to initial stakes or requirement gathering, and final stages or product handoff, less frequent customer interaction during development. Meanwhile, agile methodology has a high involvement. It's meaning that customer and stakeholder collaborated throughout the project lifecycle and providing feedback at the end of each sprint. And then the fourth aspect is testing. The waterfall only tests the software after development is fully completed, which is can make bug fixing highly stressful. And then the Agile methodology uses continuous testing, meaning quality is checked constantly. And then the Waterfall methodology is suitable for a linear, well-structured project with clearly defined requirements upfront, and ideal from construction, manufacturing, and also engineering project. Meanwhile, Agile methodology is suitable for iterative and dynamic project with involving requirement and customer feedback loop, and ideal for software development, R&D, and also innovation-driven industry. Besides that, two other aspects we should consider is documentation and delivery time. In the waterfall methodology, documentation is usually more detailed and organized because each phase must be completed before moving to the next one. The delivery time tends to be longer. Meanwhile, Agile methodology is minimum of documentation and also focusing more on working software or product. And the delivery time of Agile methodology is faster time to market as features are delivered incrementally. Okay, now let's look at the strength and weakness of Waterfall and Agile methodology. The strength of Waterfall methodology is predictability and control over timeline and budget. Second is strong documentation and traceability. Third is suitable for regulated industries with strict requirements. And then the strength of Agile methodology is flexibility to respond to changes, continuous customer feedback, faster delivery of feature, and encourage innovation. And then both methodology have the weakness. The weakness of Waterfall methodology is inflexible to changes in mid-project. Second is long development cycle can delay customer feedback. And the third is can result in costly delay if issues are found late. Meanwhile, Agile methodology have a weakness. First is can lead to scope creep if not managed properly. Second is require high collaboration and communication. Third is not ideal for a large team or geographic distributed team. Both methodology have their uses, pros and cons. Small projects are almost always better suited for an Agile methodology than a Waterfall one. When developing medium-sized project, both the Waterfall model and the Agile methodologies have their number of drawbacks. A flexible Agile methodology may be too easy to use for the same project, while the difficult Waterfall model may add too much overhead to it. A large and complex project with several teams working on various components of the application at the same time is one of the project types that is challenging to handle in an agile manner. This kind of project is typically a waterfall project. For project hard to classify as being either waterfall or agile, other models need to be investigated too. And then organizations should choose the appropriate method based on their project requirement. Are they fixed or still evolving? Their timeline, do they need a quick MVP or is there a strict long-term deadline? Budget or cost? And then their team capability, and the last one is their overall business need. Okay, to wrap things up, let's review our main conclusion. First, SDLC is the backbone of systematic system development. Second, Waterfall is your go-to model for stable and predictable requirement. Third, Agile is your best ally when you need speed, adaptability, and constant user feedback. And the last one is every project has its own unique landscape. By choosing the right approach, it means you improve your project success and efficiency. And then these are some of the reference we use. We relied on industry standard documentation from IBM, Atlassian, and then the article journal and others. That concludes our presentation on video-based learning. Thank you for your time and your attention. We hope this gives you a clear, practical understanding of SDLC, Waterfall methodology, and Agile. And have a great day, everyone. Thank you.